All have come. All of us are sure. Anyone missing? JP has also come. Jadal has come. Rest is here. Ka is here. How will we know all of us are here? Murli Iyer, Deepak Shivnani. Arjun is here. Good. So good morning, friends.
Good morning, sir.
I think mic is not needed. I'm naturally audible, right? This one, God's gift. Quarter end is just 20 days away. Why should we have a program like this? Well, let's just open up. Because it's very important we set the tone why we are here. Anyone from this? No?
Day-to-day activity will keep happening. We should be looking at next 2 years, 3 years. The room inside here is the future leaders. So maybe that's the reason we are here to understand the PNL.
So what is the perspective setting going forward? And most importantly, we always have been, you very well elaborated what is the meaning of impress. We came out with different definitions. And how we have come up in the last 70 days, so it has been launched.
So Dheeraj said P and then you said embrace for VM.
Sir, we have embraced structure now. We know how it is, but then connecting with it deeply and imbibing into the numbers and
Anyone from that table? Connecting to numbers.
We have various dots.
We have various
dots.
dots.
We need to connect all the dots. How it is effective on this?
Good. Anyone from this table?
Being the code for these IUs and to ensure that everything is going right.
So in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna a very pertinent question. Very, very pertinent question in today's condition. So he asked, Krishna, you have been telling me to do a work. Okay. And you have been telling us that do the work, never expect any result. Keep continuing your work. But what is work? I can keep on jumping full day and say I am working. In today's world, it can be called workout also. Correct? Correct. Because anyway, Arjuna is troubled by the enormity of the situation he is facing because for 3 reasons. One, he wants to conquer back his kingdom through that his reputation. Second thing, through that he has to go through a sacrifice. And third thing, he has to take tough decisions, including killing his family, blood, and on and on. So, Krishna says, very important phase, very, very important phase which I have never seen in any other thing I have read. There is a word called Karma Yoga. What do you mean by Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga is the only word that doesn't have a translation in English at all. There is nothing. There is no equivalent word for Karma Yoga or Karma Yogi. You all can Google it. Okay? Closest one, somebody came with as a dictionary translation is worship. What is that? Worship. When you say worship, worship is nothing but reverence and respect to God. That's it. When you worship a God, what do? You attach a reverence and respect. Nothing beyond that happens. You don't go sleep with the deity 24 hours, take a bath along with the deity when you are eating. That's an extreme state. That is called, that's not called. So, worship. So, Krishna says it's not like that, Mr. Arjuna. It is not that anything you do is work. Anything you do is not karma. Anything you do with a purpose. For the first time, he attached a word called purpose. When you attach a work with a purpose, okay, that purposeful work becomes karma, and the doer becomes karma yogi. So as a karma yogi, once you become, we'll park this, we'll come to it. Okay. In the same Bhagavad Gita, as you keep traveling, chapter number 7, I think 8. We always are anyway power 7, correct? Power of 7. There is a coinage called Rajarishi. What do you mean by Rajarishi? Anyway, a sage on stage, a sage on stage, a sage on dais, sage on chair, Pralay is Rishi. Because he will transmit 24 hours knowledge, he will absolute wisdom. So a Rishi is a guy sage on stage, okay? But a leader is called Raja Rishi. Why? Because there are two parts to that coin. One is called a Raja, which is nothing but a power. How do I use my power to the benefit of mankind? Please remember very clearly. It is not like there are set of, which means as a king you have to, as a leader you have to do only three things in life: love, truth, and justice. There is nothing else. There are only three things: love, truth, and justice. A leader who faults that, Roman Empire collapsed. Mughals vanished because one overtook the other. So as a leader, as a Raja in you, that's all of us, love, truth and justice is the inherent expectation. Okay? How will I use my Rishi part of it, where I said like Pralay Rishi is nothing but a inquest or a quest or a thirst towards that journey? How will I increase my knowledge, transform my knowledge into a wisdom where I get balanced? And any leader who only obsessed by power can be called Gaddafi also, maybe yes, I don't know. But history says. Can he be called Saddam? Maybe yes. Can he be called someone else in the earlier days? Maybe yes, I don't know. But a balanced approach, immaterial of whether it's a Chandragupta Maurya or Akbar or a Chola dynasty, Raja Chola, or you go and see, these guys maintain two things: balance of power with wisdom. So this is an era where a lot of transformations are happening. And in a democratic world of AI, okay, the power is in knowledge, which means the Rishi part of each one of us needs to lift up. And what is Rishi part? Knowledge to wisdom. We will park this here. Okay. First one, what did we park there? Now what are we parking?
Knowledge to wisdom.
Raja Rishi. Very simple. So let's be very motive, you know. Sanskrit, Hindi, and certain amount of mythology. Now let's come commonsensically one thing. Why are we discussing this? So what's the difference between story, tale, and fable? What's a story? What's a tale? What's a fable? Amin?
Story would be anything bigger than the was the story or
Uh-huh. Me hitting you. Tomorrow somebody telling it. Is it a story or a tale?
story. Story.
Uh-huh. Very good. Panchatantra tales.
Because it teach.
No? Anything, fable is something but where you teach morality through animals. Fundamentally, first you understand. Because humans are very relative by nature. Okay? So, only an act through which you want to spread morality or spread the glory of your own dynasty. My grandfather was a military captain. Okay, that's a reality too. And the story goes like this: he went to the China war, that was his last, and got royally screwed. After that, I am born. Okay, so he had someone helping him. His name was Murli. That's an internal story called fable. So every time my mom used to tell me, so that I remember not only my name origination but my grandfather also. But the worst thing that has happened in his life is he never got a bullet hit. Okay, he went and gargled. He got infection. He has to remove full set of upper row of teeth. That's the worst part. That story we will keep it for lunchtime. It's a very exciting one. He never knew how the infection could go so deeper. So we are very clear about fable. Now, what is story and tale? Are you writing your life biography as a tale or as a story?
This story.
Story. How many guys or ladies are creating their own tales? Why not tale? Why it's just story? If you are writing a story of yourself and which you are to be proud of, why you are not writing a tale? देशपांडे जी बोलो, ट्यूसडे तो मैं आ रहा हूँ रात को, और भी ज्ञान देगा। तो अभी, why are we not writing tales about ourselves? Why are we writing story about ourselves?
Tales will also have a sense of imagination also.
Story spelling है क्या? शोले is a story or a tale? Stories have a lot of imagination. In story, there will be a character which has a purpose and goal. Remember, fundamentally. Ramayana can be a story, and reading about Vali alone is a tale. The goal orientation, the abstraction one clears in life, the journey of knowledge one undergoes. This is story. Straight solution is a tale. So in your life, when you create, you're all senior RBMs, current account head, current account zonal head, and then who else, product head. When you are writing your story, in your story, tales are going to be how did your regions, how did your branch, how did your resources perform. In that, you are going to leave a fable that people are going to say at one point of time only was there, that time it was good or bad. That is a fable. Because it is for internal circulation only. What my grandfather did today, I told itself, if my grandmother is alive, she'll feel very, insulting. She'll screw me. You would have told the other part. He cleaned the gun, right? He would have never fired. He's a very nice fellow. So, in this story, if you have to move around and create your own, and if you have to create a tale, and if that tale, as I said, tale only have happy ending. There is never, Cinderella is a tale. What is so great about one slipper? You just ask yourself, or Alice in Wonderland, or Goldilocks. You go and read all the tales. That's why it's called folk tales. Smallest tale I tell you, you sleep. And if I talk about when you are sleeping, kyunki saas bhi kabhi bahu thi, you are awake for 365 days. So both are enough choice, correct? So kyunki saas bhi bahu thi, why I am connecting this is very important because in your story of success, in your story of professional life, what you are building as chapters called tales. Through your branches, there will be fable called people. So no Ramayana is Ramayana without Guha, without Ravana, without Sita, without Lakshmana. Assume their story of mythology, one guy came. Why don't we read about Vishwamitra and all much? Only thing Vishwamitra we know is Menaka came and he opened eyes. Other than that, you tell me one thing about Vishwamitra. Even I would have opened eyes. Right? Let's be very normal to it. They are very mortal guys. Why I am saying this is, a karma yogi in you, remember, which means a purposeful, work-centric leader in you, should use the softer side of leadership called Rishi, which is knowledge to wisdom. And if you have to transfer yourself to knowledge to wisdom, the only way you can grow that path or go in that path is by imparting knowledge to many. Which means people below you has to do the purposeful work. That is why earlier days it is said, Jaisa Raja Vaisa Praja. You cannot go to Rwanda and say, sir, I have $1,000, can I get a change? You will be changed. Only the holder of the 1,000, because that's the country which believes in extreme snatching. So it's very important as a culture, how do we embrace the purposeful work into the powerless mode of Raja Rishi, which means this knowledge transfer that is going to happen, through which you are going to create your story, and in your story, tales of success is going to happen at branch level, and through that branch, how do I create a fable which is of morality and the shortest, crispy things to remember. And going back to Bhaskar who said connecting dots, correct? These are the connecting dots. For that connecting dots to happen, there is something called purposeful work for a branch or for a resource is what? SOP. What do we do by standard of performance? You are actually arriving at minimum standard or minimum acceptable standard or optimal standard based on organization to organization. But minimum standard is not substandard. That is what you are ensuring. Which means, first statement of what Krishna told to Arjuna, Arjuna, work is not you jumping around. Work has to be purposeful. So a resource needs to be purposeful, and for that purpose, you create a minimum standard, and that purposeful work should have an impact. For that, SOPs are created. For that to happen, you need to transfer knowledge. And if you have to transfer knowledge, you have to be above that platform. So embrace is nothing but how do you cover up this path from knowledge to wisdom. While you are going through the path, Rajarishi is not a sage on stage. He is a sage on site. That is why when Rama was born, at the age of what he went to the first rainforest? 12. Not before teen. Remember, Gurukul starts before teen, always. Commonsensically. 13 is teen. Okay. He comes and tells to Dasratha, I am taking him to forest. He has to learn few things. A sage on site is Rajarishi. A leader is on site, not above, not below. So when you are on site, what happens is you start rubbing shoulders in today's language. When you are rubbing shoulders, you started transferring knowledge, and that is why today you can actually tap two mobiles together. Data transfer also you can do, correct? World has technologically advanced. Now, if I have to put like the ISRO head, we have already discovered it in Ramayana and all. Don't take things too long. But the reality is, your job is going to get tougher and tougher. Which means, how do you embrace a purposeful work? How do you embrace the most important thing, knowledge transfer and you moving towards up? And third part, what did we say? Third part? No justice and all. Screw you. Story of yours. How will you make it with lots of tails and feathers? That is called P&L. P&L is not what they say, profit and loss alone. It is purpose and loss. If you create the purpose, then ROE is return on engagement. Is your engagement purposeful? ROE will decide, and that will automatically move into balance sheet. ROI is nothing but return of intent. What is the intent of each one of the leadership? What is the engagement pattern? That is called return of assets. And for me, the assets is not you or me. The last and the front end is called BDO. So if your intent, if your engagement, if your return of assets is not in line, P&L can never happen. P&L can never ever happen. Please be very clear. It's not related to this job. Today, Facebook or yesterday's Apple is there because of people. Then subsequently brand happened. So this embrace as a program, when we coin and when we decide, the main intent is how do I connect the front end guy's fable to a branch into a tail to your story by making you a Rajarishi in the sense that where your quest for knowledge transfer will be higher and you will walk towards the knowledge to wisdom, you will use less of power. Remember, as the education and literacy goes up, automatically you will become more and more humble. It's a reality. So please be very clear, this is a program for upliftment of personality through data science, through arithmetics, through the best counseling approach. And we actually debated, me and Sunanda, I think we should give a big hand to Sunanda, working 30-40 days continuously. And Prahlad is an abundant source of resource of energy. How much you can, he is like the electricity transformer. You can actually use only good night and feel happy, or you can run an air conditioner, feel comfortable too. It's that. So we were discussing about ONDC. He came for different purpose. He also never knew this program is going to happen. Correct, Prahlad?
Yeah.
And we were discussing about ONDC. How do we use open data for banks' benefit? And you will fix me a meeting with Mr. Modi ji.
Yes.
These were the three topics in which he came. Then as he was talking, taking, that's why I said he is a rishi, he just transformed me. My power further fell down. I said that no. If I alone is going to walk through this path, my story is anyway good. How will I get many stories right? Which means my tales through you. And your story through that tales of your front end has to build. And believe in me, this is going to be one hell of a lot of a program. And we are going to redo it next month for RBMs also. This has a phase 2 also. You being a case study, and next time when we do an embrace exactly 9 months from now, you will come after this program with your story, with your tale and with your fable. Which means this is my story of 9 months is I transformed, reformed, I gained this, I transferred knowledge, and my story of branch is good. So many people, morality that is through SOP score is good. Connecting that I have gained. And connecting these three, this year incentive for all the supervisors, RDS, senior RDS, all here, including me, I am linking it to P&L. Which means one needs to attain minimum amount of P&L, minimum amount of top line. Before I move in the direction, I need to train you all, correct? So this is a course towards that. So it is not to get embarrassed program of BM he is going to spend 2 days. He is not going to spend, he is going to spend with you what's happening in banking industry in gist. Where are we traveling? Why this SOP at this point of time? Why should we add resources? Why do we need branches? And where are we heading? Sorry. This is the purpose. And you are going to embrace your karma yoga and yogi in you. Don't take it otherwise, it can be in Bible also. I have taken it very neutrally, Gita, because that's the only book I understand. So any other, because it should not happen that why only Bhagavad Gita, you know, sometimes today. So I'm just telling anyone, Sanju, I don't think Sanju and all will take it that way. Last but not the least, before I hand it over to Praloy, the effectiveness of this program is in your hand. We are doing a program parallelly called Step Up. We have identified 24, 25 people of BDM and song. I personally gone 2 sessions. Tomorrow also I want to go for a session for half an hour. I'm thrilled by the energy and enthusiastic level. Thrilled. In fact, I was telling Sunanda, these 24 people, how did they survive? Because so much energetic, so much enthusiastic. Naturally, we would have killed them, then still they survived. But then probability happens. See, we are very famous for that. Steve Jobs would have worked under Murli, he would have never grown beyond RSM. And Steve Jobs reporting to me, he would have, because I will daily going to ask the same idiot, aaj kitna leke aaya? Kyun nahi aaya? And we can say, is this a karma yogi? We can say that. This is not the purposeful work. The purposeful work of karma yogi is the sage walking on the side. You have to ask yourself, how many times am I walking in the side, explaining? And the sage on the side used to be, there used to be a medical representative and area manager of a pharma firm who used to walk on stage. All of us are bankers, are used to stage. We are knowledgeable people. Murli wants to be only on that stage to give gyan. Era is over, my friends. If you are a programmer, if you are a digital scientist, if you are a data scientist, you and your reportees are on the side on either side. Because customer is also by the side. There used to be, supply chain, customer, everything is going to be collapsed in 2 years. In 2 years from now, Prahlad, 2 years from now, this room will have 10 people as front end. Baki all working on data science, scientists. You will tell the few names also. Your roles will change. Suddenly you'll be called scientist in Indore. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? हो जाएगा. Jodhpur का what to say, customer experience head. It's going to be reality. There is no one. So, in an egoless journey, in an only learning journey, when you kindle yourself up, you are embracing yourself and the society to next level. So the objective of this program, I would have slightly trespassed my 5 minutes.
No problem.
Is not to create a mega story, but to create a good story about you, Deepa, Dheeraj, JP, Amit, Sunanda, JP, each one of you. And in your books, you will have your own tale. In your books, you will have your own moral stories to be spread, said about you all. With that note, have a very open mind, and these 2 days will transform if you allow yourself to be reformed. Otherwise, this can be another 2 more days. Now, most of your senior RPFs, you are brought yet. Somebody can ask this question. I want clear ambiguity. Why is Vishweshwaran and Mohan here? हो जाता है यार society. I said, Rishi is sage on side, no? Because their books are on par with many senior RPMs. So, first time we are bringing in an equality called portfolio will also attract people. It is not necessary only grades or roles should attract. And next month, continuation of this, all RBMs are also, so that everyone should be very, very clear. And last but not the least, he will teach about all these things. Remember, to be good and effective is your personal choice. You're all crossed 40. Okay? I cannot reform you. I cannot, make your teeth regrow and all. Gone means gone. Being good as a people leader is the only choice we have. If you are not attracting, if people are leaving, it is not the problem with the territory, it's the problem with the individual. Because leadership is nothing but magnetism and gravity. If you are magnet, iron ore, any metal will get attracted. And if you are gravity, people will come closer to you. If both these things are not happening, introspect. This cannot be taught. This cannot be trained. So, in embrace everything he will say, but finally, if you don't have people, there is no Raja. And if there is no people, no read or no need for Raja Rishi also. Okay, please remember this, because today I was reading in the newspaper, some big, I don't want to name the country, he's saying climate change is a lesser problem, aging population, Germany. In 3 years from now, they don't have laborers to work in that country. There is no labor. And he's saying 10 years from now, Germany is going to fall below 20, not because they are bad in technology, they are best in technology. Not because they are bad in engineering, not because they are bad in eco-friendliness. Aadmi nahi hai. So I was correlating to my own line of business. I am short of 700. My GDP, will it not get affected, my friends? Sanju?
Yes.
So as a leader, you are responsible for future generations. You have inherited this post, I have inherited this post. When we vacate it, people should say, there was a good Karma Yogi who occupied my chair, who had a lot of Rishi characters which helped us to grow. And third, very, very, very important thing, there's a good story he left behind. I am part of that story called Tale. I also have a story in which a lot of tales and fables are there. And I have expanded this business. This is called embrace as a thought process. With that note, I welcome all of you to this program. I'll hand it over to one of the best I can see in India.